your hands together for Mark Panzer!
So, I gotta be honest, I don't do this often. When I write for comedy, it's usually when I'm like in a low place. I don't know, I find humor in like when I'm down. And I think my friends are starting to realize that now. It's like, so every time I put like a new show out, I'd be like, hey, I got a new show. They'll be like, that poor bastard. Must have fell down a well or something. What's gonna say him? But, basically, it's there's always someone that has something worse, right? There's always someone that's gonna have it worse than you. And those people are those people in those cigarette ads, those anti-smoking ads. The one woman doesn't have her fingers, and the one guy who talks like this, right? Those are depressing commercials. And I mean, they're effective, but it's like, when I watch TV, I'm trying to escape, you know? I mean, I don't need to know about the horrors. It's always during a comedy, too, right? You'd be like laughing, you'd be like, I think everything's gonna be okay. And he's like, this could be you. I'm like, oh, that's right. Life sucks, I forgot. I was happy for 10 seconds, but that's over. You know, it's crazy about that guy, too, with the voice box. It's like, we live in a technological age here, right? Where, like, you have a woman's voice on your phone, Siri telling you what to do, and you can program your GPS with, like, a sexy voice telling you where to go, like, turn left, sugar, you know? That's not sexy, but, you know, you can find the sexy one. You're telling me we can't find this guy a voice box that doesn't make him sound like an evil robot from the 60s? You know, like, destroy the planet! I don't think they want to. I don't think, even if they could, I don't think they would want to, right? Because it would lose its effectiveness. It wouldn't be scary anymore. Like, if his voice box, he made it sound like a suave gentleman, no one would care, right? He can't go up there and be like, I don't always talk, but when I do, it's out of a hole in my throat. Light up right after that. You know, like, that guy must get mad chicks, yo. Like, it's amazing people still smoke today with just everything we know about cigarettes. I mean, my parents came from an older generation where they're like, we didn't know smoking your lungs was bad. Like, you know, no one... And when I grew up, you know, the deterrent was always like the old, oh, I'll make you smoke a carton of cigarettes, Johnny, you'll get sick, and you know, that's how you'll get rid of it. But it was a no-tolerance policy in my house. My mom freaked out, overreacted, so much so, this is a dead true story. She once found 2 cigarettes in my sister's pocketbook. An exact quote, she's like, you will not drag this family down in drugs, young lady. Right? And they were like Camel Lights, which are like barely cigarettes, but it's like the O'Douls of the cigarette world, for those who don't know. I think they wean babies off pacifiers with Camel Lights. You know, it's like, no, you're too old for a pacifier. But you're not too old for flavor. Light up, man. You're my little social smoker. Yes, but look, I don't want to be Johnny McBride just up here. I smoke cigarettes. Usually when I'm drinking, I just went out drinking. I went to a concert a few weeks ago. Primus, I don't know if anyone knows. It doesn't really matter, but thank you to people. But they're a rock band, and you know, you get in there and the crowd gets nuts. It's like a mosh pit, and I was still in there. I'm 37, and still banging around, getting out there, you know. And the next day I was counting my bruises, and I'm like, am I too old for this? You know, I was thinking, am I too old to get in there? But I was really thinking, like, you know, what happens when I get really old with this type of music, right? Like nursing homes, okay? Like today with senior citizens, it's okay, right? They have events for them, dances and waltzes, but it fits the music of their time. You know, it's like the Chattanooga choo-choo, it cost me a dime, you know, and they can get away with that. But I like Metallica and Nirvana and all these bands, like, what are they gonna do for us for these events to take us back? Is it gonna be like Mosh Pit Monday? Like, you know, a bunch of orderlies just pick us up, slam us around? They loved it! They have to bring them back! I think Mr. Abelbaum wants to go crowd surfing. Get out of the wheelchair, son of a bitch! Oh, Abelbaum just shit himself! That is so better! You still got it, Abelbaum! We'll see what happens. I'll let you know. But I was still in there. I was still in the pit, and I'm not saying I'm like super tough, and I know I look like pure steel, but I'm still. I tell you why I am tougher than the kids of today, growing up, like. Because I grew up on the streets. I grew up on the playgrounds, and I mean our playgrounds, not the crappy playgrounds they have today. Like, we are sheltering our kids. Have you seen, like, if you ever go back to your old school with your playground, it's all like foam and safe and low, where we grew up with like fire and brawn and steel, and it was a shit. But it hardened us, right? Like, if my son, Stevie, ever comes up to me with like a scrape in these playgrounds, I'm going to treat him like a Vietnam veteran would treat somebody who's not in the war. I'd be like, you think that's a boo-boo, Stevie? I'll tell you about boo-boos, man. 1980, fell off the slide, broke my nose on asphalt. I still left knee's tore. You want to know why Daddy walks like this? Broke my pelvis, did a backflip off the monkey bars, landed on a jagged metal water fountain shaped like a dragon, all right? You want to know why Daddy's bald? It ain't genetics. Daddy's bald because I flew off a rusty twirl whirl and I ricocheted off of an 8-story rocket slide and I fell head first into a gravel pit full of used condoms and broken crack pipes, all right? Don't show me your little cut and think I'm gonna cry about it, all right? Hide your dress up and get back in there. It's fucking cold. That's what I would tell you. Now, to be clear, I don't have a son, Stevie. I don't have kids. Oh, he doesn't have kids, thank God. But I'll end with this. Contrary to what you might have heard from some comedians, I think I would be a good dad. I think the one thing I'm worried about is being one of those evil sports dads that you see I take it like too seriously, like not violent, not violent, like you suck, whatever like that, but like mental. Like with sports, I'm very petty. Very like psychological. So if my kid has a bad game, I could be one of those dads like driving home. If he messes up in a game, I'll be like, hey, you really struck out there, Bobby. You lost the game for everyone. You're not clutch, I guess what I'm trying to say. You don't come through when your team needs you, but you're 6, so I guess you have time. It's just that you have the highest allowance on the team. You think with that kind of money, you would come through your But at least sports I can handle. Like, what if my kid's a genius? Are there evil spelling bee dads? I'm assuming they might be worse, right? But like, I'm not smart enough to be one of those, but I still be condescending. I still be competitive. Do the same thing. Like, a kid has a bad B. You're like driving home, like, hey, you really lost the B there, Bobby. Not good. Tell me something. Who the fuck spells pre-polysorbitane with a Z? That Indian kid made you look like a jackass. I'll tell you one thing, no cigarettes for you. It's the dirt and then straight to bed tonight. Guys, the Marc'S.